Hi guys, welcome. Hope you're all doing good and hope your preparation is going on track. Alright, so today on the 17th of November 2023, let us look at some of the important issues in news in 30 minutes. And before we get there, just an update that the Thinkers and Theories series is live and the episode 1 is released. So put whatever your suggestions you have in the comment section to help us improve our unique initiatives. And if it is helping you, please make sure that you like, share and subscribe and inform your peers and friends to watch this video. And use this series in order to enrich your answer writing. And this series is not only to enrich your answer writing in ethics paper, but in all of GS as well as essay. So I hope you can apply these thinkers and their theories and their perspectives and ideas in your answer writing elaboratively. Okay, that will give you the depth in your answers. Okay, so with that, let us now start with the important issues on 17th of November 2023. The first article is India's economic rise, how to capitalize on the moment. Okay, as we step into the spotlight, capitalizing on the soft power will enable India to be a force for positive change. Okay, just like how Indian cricket in this World Cup has dominated, the game, in the same manner we can see that India is moving towards global supremacy. Okay, hence it is rightly called Vishwaguru. Okay, however, what is important from this article is we have to extract points to first substantiate that what are the different areas that are leading to India's rise in the international realm. Okay, so I will give you a very wide array of dimensions which you can use in different aspects of your answers so that you can substantiate how India's rise is happening in the global scenario and how India can take benefits from this rise. Okay, so let us continue now. Now the first important aspect that you should know is now all the points that I am going to tell is regarding India's rise to global power. Okay, so you can put the subheading as India's rise to global power. So under this I will discuss 10 different dimensions. I am going to bring 10 different dimensions and talk how India is rising towards global power. Obviously, I have added a few more points than the article tells. I usually do that in every article. I try to research on my own and try to give you the value additions. So keep making a note of whatever points that I keep telling you. Okay, so let us now analyze the India's rise of global power. Because in this article there was more only from the economic dimensions. Let me just elaborate it from different dimensions so that you get an idea of how India is on its way with its trajectory to achieve global supremacy. Okay, so the first point is how successfully we were able to handle the G20. Because India had the G20 presidency, India was able to very successfully handle the G20 presidency. Not only other initiatives, but the most important and the very watershed moment of this G20 presidency was the joint declaration. The joint declaration, which was possible in the complex geopolitical environment. Okay, this was possible even in the in the backstage of Russia-Ukraine war. This joint declaration was accepted by all the countries, including Russia. Itself shows how successful the G20 presidency of India was. So that is what I will start with, the rise of India. Okay, the next is leading nations are looking to forge a relationship with India. Okay, this is happening. For example, many nations are coming forward to sign free trade agreements with India. For example, UK and many European nations are now eager to forge a relationship with India. The USA is trying to increase its depth of defense relationship with India. Okay, so that is another hint that the leading nations are now interested in India. The next is many nations are coming up with connectivity programs. For example, you have heard of India, Middle East, European Economic Corridor, which they call it as IMEC. Okay, so again India is being part of this important connectivity project. Okay, all this shows that the leading nations are interested in India. Okay, the third point why India is rising as a global power is there is many geopolitical groupings where India is playing a pivotal role. Especially two geopolitical groupings where India is very, very crucial is one is Quad, okay, and other is Indian Ocean Regional Association. Okay, these two are places where India plays a very important role. Quad, as you know, is mainly to have a collective groupings to protect its interests in Pacific Ocean, and IORA is basically a regional cooperation to protect its interests in Indian Ocean. Okay, so both the oceans are very crucial for India, and India's role in these two organizations play a very important part. This again shows that India is gaining its supremacy. The next is India is becoming a voice for global South. Okay, how do I know this, or how do we know this? The one signal was India played an instrumental role. Okay, India played an instrumental role in bringing Africa into the ambit of G20. Okay, look at this. India has played an instrumental role this year in its G20 presidency to bring Africa into G20. The next is it has expanded the member of BRICS. It has expanded the member of BRICS to have one South American nation called Argentina, then two African nations, and later three West Asian nations. Okay, so what are they? You can put it in the comment section. Okay, so you have Argentina, two African nations, and three West Asian nations that were included in BRICS. Again, India played an important role. All right, one more thing is there is another news that I'm going to discuss in a few minutes. That is, India is hosting Voice of Global South. Okay, India is setting up a summit that is going to happen. It is already started today. So that is nothing but a Voice of Global Summit. This is a summit. This is the second summit that is happening that India is hosting. Okay, so again, all this points out to the fact that India is the voice to the global South. Okay, the next is IPEF for prosperity. Okay, what is IPEF? It is Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Okay, it is Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. This is a 14-member grouping. This grouping is basically to create a supply chain system, that is less dependent on China. As we discussed yesterday itself, this is again a important grouping that is formed in order to reduce dependence of China, especially in the economic realm. Okay, and here also India is playing a crucial role, because if you have to remove China outside the supply chain of the global economy, then obviously the industries have to relocate in India. Correct? So hence India again plays a very crucial role. The next is the rising cultural exports. Okay, again, as you can see, when the Prime Minister of India gave a call for yoga, okay, to be declared as World Yoga Day, all the 193 members of the United Nations agreed to this call. All right. The next is recently I heard the song called Natu Natu. This Natu Natu comes from a movie called RRR, and it was the first Indian movie song to win an Oscar. Okay. Again, all this shows that Indian cultural phenomena is making a lot of noise in the outside world. Okay, the next is sustainability. India has been a leader in sustainability, not only as it completely abided by its nationally determined contributions of Paris Agreement. Not only is it abiding by this, but it is also introducing several concepts that the world can follow. For example, LIFE initiative. As you know, LIFE initiative is Lifestyle for Environment initiative, and this is nothing but creating a mass movement at the global scale in order to promote sustainable development. Okay, this is a very unique initiative of creating a mass movement at a global scale that will promote sustainable development. Okay, the next is in the realm of renewable energy. Also, India has taken a leadership role. India has launched International Solar Alliance. Today, this International Solar Alliance has more than 100 members. Okay, and the next is, it is also in this G20 summit where India was the president, or India had the presidency. India has also launched Global Biofuels Alliance. Again, see, India is taking a leadership role in renewable energy. And the next is disaster management. Disaster management, India is considered as the net security provider. It is considered as the net security provider for all littoral nations of Indian Ocean. That is why whenever there is a cyclonic catastrophe, or whenever there is a tsunami early warning, it will always be India that will not only send the early warning but also send help to all these nations. It can be rescue, it can be development, it can be rehabilitation or reconstruction. India plays a very pivotal role, especially in the littoral countries of Indian Ocean. And last but not the least, India has also come up with a program called Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Okay, that is known as CDRI. It is basically to improve our resilience towards disaster, so that whenever there is the occurrence of disaster, there is reduction in the loss of life and property. Okay, so this is one more realm where India has taken a leadership role. And the last but not the least is the role of Indian diaspora. We have always banged on diaspora diplomacy, and Indian diaspora are also always known as bridge builders. Okay, the World Migration Report 2022 says that there is overall 18 lakh Indian population that are considered as non-resident Indians or persons of Indian origin, who are together known as the Indian diaspora, and they play a very pivotal role in different continents in not only the economic realm, but also in the policy making realm. Okay, in the economic realm, if I have to talk, India is set to receive more than $100 billion in dollars in remittances. Okay, and in terms of policy making, the workforce that is there across the globe are highly skilled, and they are already at a very high hierarchy in terms of policy making. Okay, so this again makes India a very, very crucial and effective soft power. Okay, so all these 10 dimensions shows that India's rise to global power is already started, and it is an inevitable and eventual consequence. Okay, however, what India has to do is, not only India should capitalize this movement, but also India should try to bring stability in the world order, not coercively, but through collaboration and through dialogues, through diplomacy, through respecting differences and diversity. So this is the importance of India and the consequence of India becoming a global power. Okay, so I hope this initiative, this article was helpful. See, these articles are very, very crucial, because whatever data that you got in this article can be used in any answer in international relations. Okay, so always cherish such articles, cherish such lectures, because these are the articles that will give you a comprehensive answer that can be used in any questions of international relations of GS2. Okay, so with that, we are done with the first issue of the day. Let us then move to the second issue. The second issue is what is happening in Brazil. Okay, in Brazil, it is not yet summer, but the dangerous heat waves are sweeping the country. Okay, so in Brazil, if we take the heat index, whenever they say the heat index, it is a combination of, both temperature plus humidity. Okay, it is a combination of both temperature and humidity, and the temperature is almost reaching, look at this is very huge. Okay, the heat index shows that the temperature is almost 58 degrees, and the city that is suffering is this. Okay, so it is still spring in Brazil, but a dangerous heat wave is sweeping the country. Not only this, along with heat waves, okay, it will be followed by droughts, and this will be followed by forest fires. So these three will always come one after the other. The first comes heat waves, then comes droughts, then comes the forest fires. Already the forest fires are happening in a place called Patanal biome or Patanal wetland. Okay, it is the world's largest wetland. This Patanal wetland is the world's largest wetland. Okay, and why is Brazil having such immense heat waves? Is because of the effect of El Niño. Okay, El Niño is nothing but warming of eastern Pacific Ocean. Okay, so this is the information. Basically, Brazil is suffering under heat waves. These heat waves will then transform into droughts and forest fires, and forest fires are already occurring in the world's largest wetlands, that is known as Patanal biome or Patanal wetlands, and the entire scenario is happening because of the phenomena called El Nino. Okay, this is the information. So you have to learn from the prelims perspective how the questions can come regarding this issue. First is, where is Brazil? Brazil is in South America. Okay, and by knowing what are all the nations that are neighboring Brazil, okay, by understanding what are all the nations that are neighboring Brazil, you can by heart all the countries that are there in South America. Let me show you how. Okay, now if you take Brazil, observe in anti-clockwise direction all the countries that border Brazil. I'll show you how to go about it. The first is French Guiana. Okay, the next is Suriname, the next is Guyana, the next is Venezuela, the next is Colombia, the next is Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina and Uruguay. Okay, so if you take Brazil, so you have French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina. See, Argentina is bordering here, and then you have Uruguay. Okay, these are all the nations that border Brazil. Okay, so if you can remember this arc, try to visualize this arc some 10 to 15 times. That is it. The only two nations that do not border Brazil is, look at this, one is Ecuador, another is Chile. These are the only two nations. So you have Ecuador here and you have Chile here. Apart from these two nations, all the other nations share its border with Brazil. Okay, so one, you visualize this arc and then visualize Ecuador and Chile. So if you do this some 10 times, you have by-hearted the countries of South America. Okay, so this is how you develop the spatial sense. So I keep telling you, develop spatial sense. This is how you develop the spatial sense. Okay, the next is, once you got to know about Brazil, the next is, see, this is the Pantanal biome. Okay, this is the Pantanal biome, the one in red color. Look at this, that is the Pantanal biome. Okay, and this Pantanal biome is the world's largest wetland. Okay, it is the world's largest wetland, and this comes in a state called Mato Grosso. Sorry, it comes in a state of Brazil called Mato Grosso. All right, so let me just give you one more image of that. Look at this. Sorry, look at this. This is what is the Patanal wetland. This entire thing in brown color. Okay, this is the Pantanal wetland. Okay, this comes somewhere in this part of Brazil, and it is present in two states of Brazil, Mato Grosso and Mato Grosso do Sul. These are the states of Brazil. Okay, so this is what is the wetland, and the wetland is in use because there are forest fires around this wetland. Okay, as you know, this Mato Grosso has Amazon rainforest. It has Amazon rainforest as well as it has savannas. Both are present in Mato Grosso. So these Mato Grosso, these two vegetation, because there is heat waves and droughts, it is followed by forest fires. Okay, and as I told you, all this phenomena of heat waves, forest fire as well as droughts are happening because of something called El Nino. Okay, now you can see this is what is El Nino. All right, now in the normal year, look at this part. We are interested in South America. So in the South America, there is cold currents. Okay, so in the South America, there is cold currents, and the Eastern Pacific is basically cold. Okay, but in the El Nino year, look at South America. In South America, the Eastern Pacific becomes warm, and there is warm waters near the coast of Peru. Okay, and whenever there is warm waters along the coast of Peru, there is heat waves, then there is droughts, and finally there is forest fires. Okay, so this is what is happening in the Brazil currently. So El Nino is nothing but a warming up of the eastern Pacific Ocean, and this results in warm water along the coast of Peru that can result in heat waves, droughts, and forest fires. So these are some of the consequences of El Nino in the Brazil. Okay, so this is about the Brazil issue. The next is India is set to host the second Voice of Global South Summit. As I just spoke a few seconds later, this is nothing but VGSS. Okay, Voice of Global South Summit. Okay, this will be the second summit that will start today. However, there was an inaugural session that was held in January 2023 and it was virtually done. Okay, this unique initiative is set to bring together 125 countries. Okay, it is set to bring together 125 countries of the global south. It is set to bring 125 countries of the global south. Okay, and the theme of this initiative is unity of voice and unity of purpose. Okay, this is the theme of the second summit of Voice for Global South. Okay, as you know, you can use this information in your answers. You need not wait until they ask you what is Voice of Global South. Okay, how is India expanding its influence as a voice and a leader of the developing and underdeveloped countries? On that context, you can always use this information. Okay, so basically the government is now trying to spread the vision globally. Okay, the government is trying to spread the vision of globally Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. Okay, what they started domestically in India, now they are trying to spread this global vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. That is one more point that you can write. Another point that you can tell is basically spreading of Indian philosophy that stands on the values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Okay, so just by many people will just use this keyword Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam instead of just telling this. After telling this, you can substantiate by telling how India has taken up a leadership role in Voice of Global South Summit. Okay, this is another way of putting it across. So basically, what is the reason for having this summit is to share best practices and progress. By coming together and sharing best practices and progress, we will be able to share the benefits as well as we will be able to share the burden. That is the best part of the Voice of Global South. It creates a common understanding and a common voice which can be used to bargain against or amongst the developed countries of the world. Okay, so hence the Voice of Global South becomes very, very important. Okay, the next issue is regarding section 497. Regarding section 497. Okay, now let me just tell you what this section is. This section deals with adultery. Okay, what is adultery? If there is a wife, okay, and there is an husband, and let us say that the wife had a sexual intercourse. The wife had a sexual intercourse with another man. Okay, if this has happened, then this is declared as a crime, and the crime will punish only the man. The crime will punish only the man. Okay, and this is punishable up to 5 years. This is what is section 497. Okay, now let us come back. Why adultery was struck off IPC? It was struck off by the Supreme Court. Okay, it was struck off by the Supreme Court in a case called Joseph Shine versus Union of India. In this case, Joseph Shine versus Union of India, this happened in 2018. This section 497 was struck off. The reason it was struck off was because of, look at the discrimination that this section is making. Okay, one is this section is there is discrimination towards women Okay, because one, it is manifesting arbitrariness. Okay, it is punishing only men. All right. The next is, it is creating it is destroying the autonomy of women. That is the second thing. It is destroying the autonomy of women. All right. So on these lines, one, it is discriminatory towards men. Sorry, towards men. The reason is because the man who is taken part in the sexual intercourse, that person is punished, the wife is not. So that is discriminatory. The next is, the woman's autonomy is also tested, because this entire thing is considered as a crime. Okay, so that is the reason the Supreme Court had struck down section 497. Okay, however, now why is it making the news again? The reason why it is making the news is, the parliamentary panel wants to make this a crime again in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that is going to replace the IPC. In this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the government wants to bring in back the section 497. The next question comes, if Supreme Court has struck down this section 497, then can the government bring it back? Okay. Now, for this, what is important is, if you take the Madras Bar Association, if you take the Madras Bar Association versus Union of India case 2021, okay, here what the Supreme Court has told this, whenever there is a struck down of the law, okay, the government can bring back the law. It can bring back the law, provided the government has removed the defects. The government has removed the defects pointed out by the judiciary. I hope you got this. Okay, so in the Madras Bar Association versus Union of India case, okay, the Supreme Court has pointed out that it can bring back the law that has been struck down by the judiciary, provided that the government has removed the defect that is pointed out by the judiciary. So if that is the case, if section 497 has to be brought back into the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita in the future, then the government can bring back this section. However, the government should make sure that it is not discriminatory. It is not discriminatory, and also it should not in any way compromise the autonomy of the women. It should not compromise the autonomy of the women. Alright, so if these defects are taken care of, then the government can definitely bring back the section 497 as or in accordance with the Madras Bar Association versus Union of India case 2021. Okay, the next is if you come to Joseph Shine versus Union of India case. Okay, if you take this case, Joseph Shine versus Union of India case 2018, as I told you, in this case section 497 was struck down. This was removed. However, what else that you should know in this particular case that you can use in other answers is, one, it had pointed out that if the autonomy of women, see, autonomy of women is a facet of human dignity. This is one thing that was pointed out in this judgment. This you can use in different answers if the context is women. The second that was pointed out by the former Chief Justice of India was that in this case itself, in the case, the former Chief Justice of India had pointed out that any system that treats women with indignity, will invite the wrath of the Constitution. Okay, so this is another statement from the case that you can use if the context of the question is women. Okay, so this is how you have to extrapolate the information that can be used in different answers. So in the Joseph Shine case versus Union of India, or in Joseph Shine versus Union of India, though the overall outcome is section 497 being struck down, need not be that you have to use this case only if they ask you the question regarding section 497, but you can use this statements given in the case in all the other answers where their context is women and how important is dignity in women. Okay, so this is what is the issue that the parliamentary panel is trying to bring back this adultery law or this adultery section in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita that is going to replace the IPC in the future. Okay, this is all the issue is. So I hope you understood the issue of section 497, okay, which is known as adultery law. Okay, and the last issue of the day is an ethnic resistance group in northern Myanmar says an entire army battalion surrendered to it. Okay, a few days back I told you that there is a lot of issue that are happening along the border of Myanmar. Okay, so if I take the border of Myanmar with India, okay, if this is India, you have Arunachal Pradesh, you have Nagaland, you have Manipur, and then you have Mizoram. Okay, and this side you have Myanmar. Okay, so here you have the Chin state. Here you have the Chin state. Okay, so this particular Chin state is actually having a war between an ethnic rebel. It's having a war between the ethnic rebels versus the Myanmar military group, which is known as JUNTA. Okay, so this is one place that this rebel groups are happening, but there is also another belt. Okay, this side, this is where Myanmar shares its border with China. Okay, now along this part, this border, there are different rebel groups. These rebel groups, what they have done is they have created a conglomerate. Okay, they all have come together. The ethnic minority rebel groups. Okay, they have all created a conglomerate, or they have created an alliance that is known as Three Brotherhood Alliance. Okay, they have created a Three Brotherhood Alliance. One part of this Three Brotherhood Alliance is Arakan Army. Okay, there is Arakan Mountains there. That's why I'm just giving you the name Arakan Army. However, this ethnic minority rebel groups that have formed the Three Brotherhood Alliance, they have fought the junta or the Myanmar military in this part of Myanmar, and it seems what they are telling is the Myanmar army has surrendered to this group. Okay, that is what an ethnic resistance group. This is what is the Three Brotherhood Alliance. Okay, the ethnic resistance group in northern Myanmar. Northern Myanmar is Myanmar sharing border with China. Okay, says an entire army battalion surrendered to it. Army battalion they are talking about is junta. Okay, so I hope you are, you understood this. That is why whenever they give a particular heading, you have to bring it to its bare simplest minimum for you to have a very good clarity. Okay, now let me just show you the image. Look at this. So you have Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar is sharing the border with India, that is the blue color. Okay, and then it is sharing the border with China, that is the orange color. Okay, so basically this issue, that is the Three Brotherhood Alliance. Okay, the Three Brotherhood Alliance. So this is basically ethnic minority rebel group alliance that is fighting in this particular part. Okay, and it seems that they are winning over the junta. Okay, the Three Brotherhood Alliance is winning over the junta, and they have claimed that the junta have surrendered in this zone. Okay, so this is the issue that is happening. So Myanmar is constantly in news, so you should have a good spatial sense. Also, you should be aware of any news that comes out of Myanmar regarding India as well as China. Okay, so please make sure that you are well versed with that. All right, so these are some of the important issues of the day. I hope it was helpful, and if it is helping you in any way in your preparation, please make sure that you like, share and subscribe. Thank you for all the love and support that you're showing. Episode 1 of the Thinkers and Theories are out. Okay, please give us your valuable suggestions so that we can make improvements on that in the future course of action. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.